Appreciate you coming in. It's been a kind of a weird couple months, since first met you. It's just been a very, I think, fast-paced couple months too.
Yeah.
Or however long it's been. It hasn't even been a couple months really, has it?
It's been about a month, maybe a month and a half.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy to think about that too, because time has flied since then. That was late June.
Yeah.
Now it's early August.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an interesting time, just meeting different people, all different walks of life. Just coming together for fitness and just trying to overall better themselves was just something that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
So and getting to talk to these people and I've seen you before. I've seen you on social media and you're actually standing right in front of me talking to me. That was awesome.
It's bizarre, to think these people are around the same age as me, even a lot of them younger than me.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're so successful. They're so established in fitness. They have all these things that I'm shooting for, and it's kind of like in its own way, like a fitness journey. You're looking at it from the perspective I want a better physique, or I want to lose weight, I want to gain weight. There could be people who have been doing this for 5 or 10 years, even some people who might be younger than me, and it's like, oh wow, they have what I want, but they're younger. So sometimes it can come from a point of at first, at very, hopefully very limited, but a point of almost jealousy, or man, why can't I have that? I should be there. I started around the same time, or, if I could have been more consistent. So it's almost like at first it's this really weird sensation, or at least sometimes it is for me, of I don't even know if it's jealousy as much as it is regret, almost in a way of man, I wish I was more consistent.
That's true. Yeah. You see people that are, like you said, the same age and younger, and they're elevated themselves and have made a name for themselves in the brand and the community. And you're like, yeah, I should have started this earlier and doing things earlier. But it's everybody's at their own pace. Everybody kind of learns when they need to start maybe taking stuff seriously, or, when they figure out what they really want to do. So yeah, it can come in place with a little bit of jealousy, but then hopefully the healthy thing is to rewire that and just be okay, this person can do it. I can definitely do it. I'm more than capable. I'm up to the task. I'm ready to, put in my hours, do what I got to do, and, might not be on the same level, but successful in your own extent.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And I think there's a lot of people out there who never get started because they think, I'll never have 1 million followers, or I'll never have my own, sponsorship with this major company, or I'll never have those big accolades.
Yeah.
When in reality, A, you might, that's the thing, you don't know if you don't do it, but B, you don't necessarily have to have all those things, or, you might have one of those things, or you might have something completely different that makes you just as happy, or if not happier, than what you thought you would have been with these other things.
100%. You get on the nail, and you can only really control what you can control. So you can control your thoughts and how you react to certain situations, but you can't control what companies reach out to you. If you're looking to be part of a brand, right? You don't know which one. It's just, if it happens, it happens. Same with growing a social media page. It's just you just got to stay with the consistency, and things should work out as they were intended.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely. So, kind of going back in time a little bit for you, though, how did you get into all this big world of fitness?
Well, for me, I've always been an athlete. So I've always grown up, played multitude of different sports, soccer, basketball, ran a little bit of track and field here and there, just more for helping other sports. But my main sport was baseball. So baseball, played from middle school all the way through high school. And I've always been interested in how athletes that can perform at such a high level, go about things, and how they're successful. What mannerisms do they have? What's their habits? What's the different things that they tell themselves, their mindset, to make them be successful? And so going through college, still a little bit interested in that, but I think everybody in college has a little phase where they just kind of see where, try different things out, or just, maybe sort of lose themselves. And for me, fitness brought that back. It brought back the sense of, this is something I want to, be better at. I want to get in better shape. I want to lose this much amount of weight. I want to be able to do this and do that. And so fitness brought me back to that, and seeing other people go through their life journeys, and, this person sounds similar to me. They went through something pretty difficult in life. and now they're coming up using fitness as an avenue to inspire others to live a better life and do what they got to do. That's how I got into it. So that's the message that I try to convey. It's just, be yourself, inspire others, and, set the example, set the standard.
Yeah. And did you, when you got into it, did you ever see yourself kind of being where you are with it? Did you have like a vision for it, or was it just like, kind of like you said, something to do, something to try, something to really kind of immerse yourself in?
A little bit of both. I would say I never thought it would get to where I'm, trying to post certain content and, inspire others or motivate people to, take action, essentially. But I always enjoyed just working out in general and just being in tune with the workouts. But I also enjoyed watching, like hype videos growing up. Like, would see football hype videos, career highlights for certain players, and I would be interested in like how that kind of move me essentially to do something, whether it would be just, if I have this goal I want to reach, like, let's do something, let's be proactive, let's do something now that can help me get that in the long run. And then just different influences throughout my life. I mean, I won't say I'm an anime guy, but I've liked Dragon Ball. I've always liked Dragon Ball growing up. So for me, that was something that inspired me. And I'm like, I know other people get inspired through it. So I'm just like, let me just use these different inspirations and influences that I've had in my life and put them in with something I'm passionate about, like fitness. And so hopefully that can, reach a good array of people and, people get inspired by it and, improve their lives from there, which is the goal.
So who inspired you whenever you were first starting out?
Say, in terms of fitness, it was always just athletes. So guys like Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, even just physical specimens like Bo Jackson, Mike Trout with baseball, even some of these UFC guys nowadays like Francis Ngannou that can just knock you out. Like, they've always inspired me to just say, how does this person look like this? What exercises do they do? Also just what's their mindset? But then again, also just what tools do they have that can help them be better with whatever action that they want to do? So if somebody wants to swing harder or run faster, what things are they doing to do that? And I would research and attribute that to my own workouts and see how I could improve and track numbers and things. And those people continue to inspire me to this day.
Gotcha. So your training, is it more kind of athletic-based training then?
Yeah, more athletic-based. Early on I did also do a little bit of martial arts, so like kickboxing and Muay Thai, and a little bit of jiu-jitsu. And I was always interested in how to kick harder, punch harder, do certain things, be more flexible, be more agile. So I wanted to learn different athletic-based movements that could help me transfer from the gym to the platform or to the cage, whatever it may be. And then just from there, it just became just an obsession, just a passion, just learning more about it. So just the athletic training, just looking like a warrior, so to speak.
Yeah. It's crazy you mentioned that, because I was listening to, what's her name? Valentina Shevchenko.
Oh, yeah, Shevchenko.
And she was on, I think, Joe Rogan's MMA podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about how, like, she doesn't do any strength conditioning. Yeah. It's crazy how you have, like, some of the best in the world at things, and how they go against the grain. They go against, like, the common practice, the common knowledge. Like, it's almost insane to think, like, is that her at her optimal? Or if she did those things, what else could she be doing? That's kind of my two ways of thinking about it, is like, maybe her way of doing it is how she got there. And if she did the other thing, she wouldn't have been as dominating. But at the same time, it's like, what if she had a little bit more of that strength conditioning?
Had a little bit of that in there, and if it would positively or negatively affect her game, you never know. They're just people that just, whenever they get into their arts, like Valentina Shevchenko, where she's just either such a natural or just so smart and intelligent with the game that she doesn't really need to have that aspect of it. She probably does something to some extent. I mean, exercises, building endurance, sharpen cardio, but I mean, there's rarely fighters, even boxers I've seen that have really taken a strength and conditioning routine seriously.
Yeah.
But I think more and more starting to realize this can help. This can help me in certain aspects. Don't go overboard with it. Still do what you got to do to be the best at your game. But just having this is just a plus. It just helps your game.
Yeah.
Fills in different holes, certain places,
Yeah. Well, players like Michael Jordan, who, that he said, like, got to get stronger, got to be more durable. And then he hit the weights, and that's kind of when things transformed for him. It was like he went from very, I don't want to say like graceful in a way, but like more graceful to like just pounding it in, he just, his body just transformed, and he was able to do different things like that.
Yeah, and that's how he just took over the Pistons back in the day and just was able to win titles. He just realized, I need something to add to my game. These guys are overpowering me. They're, the Jordan rules, the infamous Jordan rules, they're doing all these different things to me and I can't do anything about it. Well, at least let me get in better shape. Let me get stronger so I can be able to take these guys on longer, and just, things just happened for him.
Yeah.
Just clicked.
For sure. So, big UFC fan?
I'd say so. Yeah, I would say so.
Do you have like a main fighter you like to watch, or?
My favorite, I'll say my favorite of all time is George St Pierre. He never took many risks. He was very smart. He knew how to just use his game, and just whatever the game plan was, he would do it and do it to the best most of us have ever seen. I would say now, though, I like a lot of these guys like Charles Oliveira, Kamaru Usman. Just the fact that he was a big wrestling base and now he's able to show off his boxing and show off his striking skills. It's insane. I mean, I don't see anybody really getting him. And then don't get me started on Israel Adesanya. Don't get me started. He's talented. It's just a freak. Yeah, he's just a freak beyond nature with just his striking and everything, and just being 6'4" and that elusive and that agile and just able to pick you down. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, the three guys on top right now, the Ngannou, Usman, and
Izzy.
Yeah. Those three. I haven't been following it forever, but it just seems like those three are so dominating.
Yeah.
Like it, and you have people who think like maybe Israel's going, his reign is coming to an end soon, maybe whatever. But like those three, I just feel like have something about them. Maybe it's their personalities more than anything that are just like so intimidating, because they are just like, they know they can get it done, and they don't have to necessarily like say that they can get it done.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's, like you said, it goes back to mindset, just them knowing that this is the game plan. I'm 100% confident that it's going to get done and that I'm going to do it the best I can. And they just go out and execute. And just that confidence, you can't not get a sense of getting on a roll and just feeling like you're just unstoppable. Yeah. Even that energy, I feel like, can be felt in those kind of situations where it's mano a mano, man versus man in a cage. Just, you got to be willing to put it all on the line.
Yeah, that's a very intimidating idea, really, of getting into a cage with somebody else, or getting even just whether it's a cage or not, just being in a sanctioned fight with somebody. It's like, there's a lot on the line, even though there's rules and there's things to keep you somewhat safer than just a regular street fight. Like anything could happen, and it's like you just walk into that willingly. I think it takes a certain type of person. Yeah,
let alone the paycheck and the views and people being on there. It's like you got to really come from a place of confidence to really get in there and do something.
Yeah.
That person's coming in there to essentially take your life, so to speak, and you got to reciprocate that and be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that, at least for myself, I was never like a naturally aggressive person unless I was like triggered by something. Mm-hmm. And that was when I really struggled with any like physical sports because of that, because I couldn't just like want to really tackle somebody with like all my power and energy, because it was just like, I don't really have anything against you, like, I never had that. I feel like, unless I was really, pissed off or something.
Same. And I've always been the same way a little bit, and I've started to realize that I do have that side, and that's where I'm able to use a gym to kind of let that out, or even a cage or class or rolling in jiu-jitsu, I'm able to let that out. But I've never been somebody I would say was like always aggressive. I feel as if I played sports like football. I never played football growing up. But if I played something like football, I feel as if there would be a more natural inclination to be aggressive. It's an aggressive sport. There's other ones, hockey, rugby, all these different sports. And I feel like I would be, and I would let that out, but I was always somewhat more passive. But able to kind of realize, okay, I got an aggressive side. I can use this when I need to. Yeah.
And kind of tap into it.
Yeah. And if it's a point to where something is, or like I get triggered by something, like you said, then I'm able to do what I got to do. So,
yeah. I've always, since watching UFC a little bit more the past couple of years, I've always been very interested in training. I've always wanted to like pick it up, never done it. But also just like the idea of the lifestyle of it. It's very similar to me, it seems like, to in some ways, a bodybuilding lifestyle. It's like you're very committed to it. You're very, there's things that must be done. You have to, train very hard. You have to recover, especially in fighting, much less a workout. You have to recover from, potential injuries or things that may happen within even just training, like eating well, getting your, your cardio and stuff to be able to go longer. Like it seems like it's not definitely a direct translation, but it seems like there's definitely some things that are similar to bodybuilding.
Yeah. And that's where I get a lot of the, when I think about bodybuilding versus combat sports and that training, just the similar aspects, like you said, just seeing how stringent and strict people are with their diets and bodybuilding. And, I'm this close to a show. I've got to be able to just get these meals down, really can't eat anything else, and just be that dedicated. It's like you're going to need that in any avenue of life that you want to be successful in. So I'm like, if it's in bodybuilding, if I want to be successful in this, in combat sports, I got to apply the same mentality. If I want to be successful in this with business, I got to apply the same mentality. So it's all going back to that.
Yeah. There's definitely something special when you, like, whether it's fighting or bodybuilding or any other sport or thing that you enjoy doing, when you can transfer those skills over to other things.
Yeah.
When it comes to science-backed supplements that taste great, 2NS is your one-stop shop. They truly maximize quality by making their own supplements in-house. With over a combined 90 years of experience, 2NS's team of industry experts has a commitment to research, quality, development, and innovation. The body is sacred, so give it the best. Check out all 2NS has to offer at secondnaturesupplements.com. That's 2ndnaturesupplements.com. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here just for a second. Let me tell you about Smoking Gun Coffee. They're a veteran-owned coffee company that strives to produce a quality coffee at an affordable price. They only buy coffee from small coffee farmers around the world with a cup score of at least 85. Each batch is roasted to order for maximum freshness. They also donate a large portion of their proceeds to organizations that help local communities, veterans, first responders, or you can donate to the foundation of your choice at the checkout by going to www.smokingguncoffee.com. That's SMOKIN Gun Coffee.
Yeah, you got to be in the action to do it and get that experience. And I think that's just one of the funny things about life is there are things that, like you say, you can transfer over to every little thing that you want to be successful at, or just in life, you start to see the same sorts of messages. It's interesting.
I saw a post, I think it was a recent post on your social media about wanting to kind of get back more into the martial arts side.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been out of it for, I'd say probably around a year now. It's been just a big focus on fitness and just getting in better shape, learning my body, learning what kind of foods are good for me and what aren't. But at some point I would like to get back into it, and I'm hoping to really here soon in the next couple months. And just using that, starting out in martial arts, I was getting choked out almost every jiu-jitsu class within minutes, just all the time. Takes a little bit of a toll on you mentally because you're like used to so much success. And then you realize that, you're going to have to fail a little bit to really get that success that you want to see. It took me a minute to really kind of come to terms with that, at least with this. So hoping to inspire and use that and just show people that you can be something brand new. You can take your time off from something and be coming back to something, but like you can always get back on track and, you know, get better at things and show others that it's possible.
Yeah. It's crazy that you can simulate that like near-death experience like that.
Yeah.
You know, and also the fact that, like you said, you can fail, and kind of in bodybuilding or just in fitness in general, you know, you can fail in the gym, but at the same time, you're almost looking to fail a lot of times in the gym. Like, you know, okay, I'm going to reach my limit so I know where they are. And I guess that's true with you know, any combat training too. Like, you want to know where your limits are. But you could train, you know, especially when you first start, you could train for a while and never really be good at it, never beat anybody. And of course you're learning through it, but like it
just takes a toll. It's just like, dang, can I get anything? It's like, oh, woe is me a little bit, but like, it's like my time's going to come. Like, you know, you start asking people, at least I went in class, how long have you been here? 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. And they always kind of said like just having a white belt mentality and just always wanting to be a learner and just going into class, just being like, I'm just going to learn something. Even if I tap out in this class 6 times, even if I don't land this kick or this punch in sparring, I'm getting closer to that. That's just something that you kind of got to get used to with martial arts. And you just realize that, oh, that applies to everything in life. You want to be a better content creator, you're going to have to kind of start from scratch, learn some things, ask for some advice, you know, seek wisdom from other people. And you just continue to learn and learn and learn. And then you'll be like, you know, holy smokes, it's been a year and I've improved this much. Look at this video I did where I was trying to do this versus the one I just did. That's insane. That's me? Whoa.
Yeah.
So, and I've always wondered, is that just something that's kind of like the human condition? We're always looking to, you know, see improvement like now, like we're very instant gratification like. And I think that's the world as a whole, you know, nowadays with technology and how things have advanced. But we're always like, you know, either it's this or it's that, either it's black or it's white. And it's like, there's improvement somewhere in there. You just maybe learned a different angle that you could try this out on. Or, you know, in the gym, okay, I didn't get that 225-pound bench press I wanted. Okay, well, you know, you took the weight down a little bit, went down to 215, 210. That's a start. That's somewhere, you know. That's some improvement. You didn't hit that the other week.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you got to find the small wins for sure. Kind of 1% better is the way I like to think about it.
Yeah, 1% better, chasing. It's a Japanese word called kaizen, just like constantly improving and just good change. It's just, you hit it on the nail. Just something every day that you can take away, and at some point you look back and that time's going to show up with results, whether it's a month, 6 months, a year, 10 years, whatever it may be. Like, time is going to tell you. You just got to put your head down, get to it, don't stop, and just have faith. Really big on having faith.
Yeah. Where does that Asian, Japanese influence come from? Is it the anime? Is it the martial arts?
Just, a little bit of all that. I've always been somebody that's been interested in just that culture and just learning more about it, and how there's the Eastern way of philosophy versus the Western philosophy we always adapt. Kind of seeing like, okay, well, like this applies, this doesn't. You know, being able to adapt and being adaptable. I know Bruce Lee mentioned it, being like water. I do have that tatted on me. So that's just something that's just daily reminder, just like be able to adapt to any situation, any obstacle. You got to use that in life. But I've always had an interest in Asian culture and philosophy.
Gotcha. That's a pretty powerful quote, you know, just 3 words.
Yeah.
That can mean literally, it can be applied to anything in any body and any time era.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost amazing that because we like to attribute like great wisdom to like history and thousands of years ago, but to have some really wisdom-filled people, you know, just in this day and age, it's almost seems like it's rare.
Yeah.
It seems like it's something that you get lucky if you get that powerful quote, or if you get that person who isn't just putting on kind of a facade for social media or whatever, who truly is living the lifestyle that they are, that they're talking about.
They're being about. Absolutely. Yeah. It's rare. It's, something that's kind of like either you got it or you don't. Either you get it or you don't. And I think that was another thing that I took from the Houston trip we talked about earlier. It's just most of those people, it's just you could talk to this person, you've seen what they've had on social media and just the person that they portray to the world. And I'm like, well, that seems just like the same exact person that I just met. Like, okay, that's a real guy. That's a real gal. Like, that's a real person. They're being themselves, and you should hopefully take from that and be like, I can be myself. What's going to come to me, what's going to be attracted to me is going to come, and, you just let the chips fall where they may, but you always got to be yourself and be true to you.
Yeah. And I think another way to kind of look at it is like, those are people too, and I'm a person. So like, they're just like me. Like, they just did it. They just, instead of talking about it, instead of thinking about it, they actually went the extra mile and they did it.
Yeah.
There's really not any difference as far as like the makeup, as far as the tools. Like, we all pretty much have the tools to do what everybody else is doing. It's just like some people are making it happen.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing that some people can achieve. I like to, one of my big influences is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I just look constantly at him at like all the things that he was doing when he first moved over here, when he was learning to speak English, when he was training, when he was, doing construction, when he was competing, all the different things that he was doing at the same time. And it always motivates me to be like, oh, you think you're busy?
Yeah.
You think you're busy? Well, that's kind of what it takes if you actually want it. Being busy is almost like it's a gift, really, because that means you have stuff to do.
Yeah. And it should be a privilege, having that much, I guess in that respects, having so much on you should be somewhat of a privilege in your opinion, in your eye, just being like, I have all this going for me, but all this going against me. And I can show people that no matter what obstacle, no matter what I'm facing, like, I can just overcome it. And I mean, look at Arnold. He's a legend in his own right. He is the face of bodybuilding, even after 40, 50 years. It seems like I remember watching Pump and Iron, and just like seeing him with just his meals, how intense he was with the training. And I'm just like, Jesus, like, no wonder this guy put in the work and he just did it, no questions asked. I'm training. When I'm eating, even his sleep, just probably getting as optimal sleep as he could at that time. He was clicking on all cylinders, and that's what you need. That's how the successful people succeed. They're just clicking.
Yeah. Man, he's so, at least for me, it's like, I almost watched that today because I was just like in that mood, Yeah. You're just, it's really cool to me whenever I'm like feeling motivated, but also want to be more motivated. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to be a little bit, kicked in the pants here. So I'll turn on some music or I'll watch a video. And sometimes it's like this perfect combination of, man, I'm feeling really good, and I'm just going to like put some more, add some more fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
That's how I was feeling about that today. I was just like, I want to watch this. I want to, get all this, motivation. And it's really interesting too, like how sometimes it feels like motivation, but it's something, I don't know, because motivation definitely, as will die out. You're not motivated to wake up in the morning and hit the gym. Sometimes it's like, oh, I want to just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So at the same time, like, motivation is definitely, it is a fire. You have to continuously add to it, but you also have to have that discipline. But I do feel like motivation is almost is it the human spirit in a way? This podcast is sponsored by Smoking Gun Coffee, a veteran-owned coffee company that strives to give back to those in need. Don't forget to use code TWR10 for a 10% discount at checkout. Ready to take your supplements to the next level? 2NS is here to help. 2NS strives to help you attain the highest degree of health and performance. Combining cutting-edge science and the best from nature, 2NS gives fitness enthusiasts and athletes the fuel they need. Check them out at secondnaturesupplements.com. That's 2ndnaturesupplements.com.
That's a big thing, is, like you said, spirit, and just knowing that you could be here, you could set all these metrics, you could achieve all of this, but just knowing that if I keep going and I continue to just put in the work and try to even find ways to improve in different areas, you can just improve so much. You know, you can just continue to improve. And that's something that I try to take with every day. It's just that constant improvement, just learning that, you know, I'm not done. I can always improve myself in some form or fashion. It's just a matter of figuring that out, having that talk with myself and being like, you know, yesterday I didn't do this very well, or I wasn't on top of this like I said I was going to be. Today I'm going to make an intent, you know, have intention behind it and do it, you know. And that's another big thing. It's just intent, having that intent to want to improve yourself and having that intent to push your limits. Think, yeah, I can do this, but let's add a couple more plates on the side. I think I know I can get this, that mentality.
You know, I don't know what it is, if it's like a survival of the fittest, or, you know, you have to like do it or die kind of mentality.
Yeah, that flight or flight kind of response. Yeah, I mean, I'll be the one to say it. I don't enjoy hitting leg day when I got to hit leg day, but it's like I got to get it done, right? But just getting under the rack, it's just, at least for me, sometimes when I know I've got a big amount of weight that I've either never done or haven't done in a while, it's like, can I do this? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Like, you know, I haven't done this in a while, and it's just like, you got to kind of rewire that, and you're just like, I got to get this done. Like, I got to squat this weight and get it back up and just do what I got to do. Like, I got to do it. And then once I get into that mentality, and I think when I see other people do that as well, they just do things that they probably didn't even know they were capable of, like squatting 3 plates, 4 plates, whatever it may be, or benching that amount of weight. Like, you can do it if you've been training enough and you've been working hard enough. You can do it. See where it goes. You know, let it rip. You know, I've always been somebody, even when I was younger, I would see other people, and whether they were decades older than me or just a few years, just kind of seeing how they would move and be able to do certain things. I'm like, man, there's a lot of people that have hip, knee issues, ankle issues, shoulder issues. I'm like, these are common amongst a lot of people. And just learning that, you know, I should probably be proactive and take some steps and get ahead of this and just take care of myself, mobility and stuff like that. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. It's not something that really gets people's attention. But it's something I think we all really need to take a second and kind of realize, like, this can happen if we don't take care of ourselves. That's why fitness is here. That's why there's so many different people that provide value, that they want to see you improve your life and take care of yourself. It's like, you should, you know, be grateful for that and grateful for the opportunity. Take advantage of it.
Yeah. And, you know, it really comes down to, I think, like, how to get more people involved in it.
You know, something I think about as well, just kind of just like how we've come evolutionarily just over time, just like we were hunters and gatherers millions of years ago. You know, we had to be active. We had to be mobile and go out and do these different things and move from place to place. And we've gained a lot of a sense of comfortability and just being comfortable with, you know, not having to go and get our food, Uber Eats, you know, stuff like that. You know, people delivering stuff to you. You don't have to really go out and go get it. Just get a sense of, like, fitness is kind of just like second fiddle in a sense. It's just like, okay, well, that's there. It's probably going to help me, but there's better things I could do with my life. And it's like a escape from just kind of the new reality that we live in, and just the new, how people go about things. This is where people want to see other people get better and get inspired by other people. I mean, if you don't walk in the gym and see a guy with just a crazy lat spread or something, I'm like, you don't get motivated by that. You don't want to see that for yourself. You don't want to see what you're capable of. At least that's just how I look at it.
Yeah. And I think it's very interesting what people are motivated by. You know, instead of personal growth, it's like, you know, keeping up really with the standard of, like, I guess keeping up with the Joneses in a lot of ways, you know.
Yeah.
You know, instead of thinking about whether it be financial or physical or whatever kind of health you want to talk about, you know, we have, I guess it's, a lot of it is just kind of human nature. You know, you want to be comparable to the person next door. You want to be comparable to the person that, is walking down the street. So I think it's human nature, but maybe shifting, and comparing. Let's make a good comparison.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the Joneses, instead of that be like buy the bigger house or buy the nicer car, have the better workout for the day, or eat
a
healthy meal for the day.
Yeah, and this person did. Oh, this person ate this. This person ate this bag of whatever. Okay, well, I'm going to make sure I don't stray away from that, get an advantage, get ahead, and do this. And then hopefully that person sees, and it's like, it's just a healthy competition. And I think that's also great. It's just seeing people that may have, if it's a physique that you're looking to aspire to get, that have some better assets to kind of always give you a sense of like there's somebody out there better than you. It's something I personally use. There's somebody out there better than you. Maybe there's somebody out there working harder than you right now, but it's up to you whether or not you're going to change that or not and do something about it.
Yep, for sure. So we have a question we want to ask you from our favorites, IFBB Pro bodybuilder, from an old Kentucky guy.
Old Kentucky home.
Old Kentucky guy came on the show, episode 180. Go check it out.
I think I know who this is.
Killer Cam. He wrote in. He said, "Man, I gotta hit up my boy. Gotta get some info from him."
Let's hear it.
He's very. We know how he is. He's very high energy.
Yeah, good energy.
Let's hear this question though.
The question is, when will Brennan stop being a beta and compete?
That's a great question. I feel like I've answered this before, but I probably didn't give a clear answer. I've always been somebody that has admired and respected anybody that is competed professionally or just, I guess, amateurly, so to speak, or at least trying to get there. It's just not the avenue or route that I really want to take and, inspire others to live a better life. I feel like I can do that through some other things, and do feel like there are people that are better than me at that, competing and doing their thing. Shout out to Cam. Trying to figure out which camera to look at. Shout out to Cam. But I'm always just going to be a supporter and a fan at the end of the day. So I don't see myself getting on stage.
It's crazy because when we were in Houston and I was like, watching you eat and watching you prepare to go to the gym, I was like, wait, this guy doesn't compete, because it just seemed like such a natural thing. You were fitting in with, you're fitting in with that idea of what somebody would think of as a competitor.
As a competitor, yeah. It's just something I've taken, just seeing some of the best be able to do it. I mean, from people like Arnold that just were so disciplined and dedicated and just stick to the craft and just said, I'm just going to stick to this plan and it's going to work out. And just in any kind of endeavor, at least if you're very successful, I'll take that from you and try to apply it to myself and be like, okay, if I want to be in the best shape possible that I feel like I can be in, what do I need to be doing? I'm like, well, this person's doing this. They're on top of their game. I'm going to have to do the same thing. So I just try to take different habits, attributes, and techniques and just use what I can and kind of create my own little standard, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
kind of reminds me a lot of The Rock in a way. He's on like that regiment. Everybody knows, like, I think that's The Rock. He like brings his gym with him, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, wait, this guy is just doing this, like, just to do it. Of course he's like looking good for the movies, looking good for all the stuff he does, but like he doesn't compete. He doesn't necessarily have to be, he could take time off basically.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to work out every day or, and he's still on it. I feel like that reminds me a lot of kind of what you're talking about, is this idea of like holding yourself to a higher standard, becoming the better or the best version of yourself and just seeing what that is. And a lot of times that'll carry you to where you should be, where you're supposed to be. And it'll open up doors to things that not doing that would otherwise not have, presented those opportunities.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, anytime you see a Rock ad, or you see a poster when you go into like a Dick's Sporting Goods or like Academy, wherever, you see him in the gym, you see him working out, and you, at least for me, and I know a lot of other people feel the same way because they all look up to The Rock and get inspired by him to do what they want to do. And some people go to the gym because of him and wear the stuff. It's like you get inspired by that. You're like, you know what? Like, this guy just gets after it. Like, if he can get after it, I can. Any human that's possible can. And you just take what you can from The Rock and just apply it to your life. So
Yeah.
appreciate that compliment. Rock is another legend. His cheat meals are legendary. The ones that I've at least seen. I'm like, can I get some pancakes that size, please? Just on the double.
For sure. For sure. And it's really cool, like, because he isn't a competitor yet. He lives this lifestyle, and it's such a good example because a lot of people would look at bodybuilders and be like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like that. I don't want to get on stage and look like that. I don't want to pose like that. You know, the Rock is really just this idea, kind of going back to it again, just like this idea of what if I was a healthier version of me? What if I was stronger? What if I, because it's not just that he's those things. It's that he's like, it seems like a good guy. He's a happy guy. Like it's kind of like the whole package of what a healthy person could be. Obviously everybody's not going to be as big as The Rock, but like just taking yourself and your opportunities, really the opportunity to live and to live in a country where we have these opportunities, taking advantage of those and just seeing what happens. I think like I said, he's a really cool person because he's just kind of, in some ways, not obviously in a lot of ways, but in some ways, just the average guy who's working out.
Yeah. And he's just made the most of himself. He's tried to better himself however he can, whether it's business ventures, gym, diet, food, whatever. He's always just trying to push himself as much as he can. I get a lot of a military mindset kind of sense from him as well. And I've gotten a little bit of that from the, seeing military people talk, guys like Jocko Willink,
yeah,
or other Navy SEALs and people that have been a part of it, just like how regimented and disciplined they are. And it carries over. It's just like, man, these guys are not athletes. These guys aren't being paid to, bodybuild and compete, but they still have that strict, this is happening, structured lifestyle that just, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to take bits and pieces from it and apply it to your own life, see where you can fill in some holes. But he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson is that ideal, and that's what I try to get across in any sort of content or anything I do. It's just, I'm not perfect. Everybody's got their flaws. Everybody's got stuff that they wish they could improve, but you make the most of it. You make the most of what God gave you, and you just, try to showcase that and use that as a vessel to just inspire other people.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned Jocko. He's one of my favorite people. Been inspired by him for many years now, and just it makes me wonder, like, what if you took out his like personality and put it into different people who had different goals, just like what they could accomplish.
Yeah,
like it would be insane. Like if he decided, obviously maybe not now in his life, but I want to be a bodybuilder. Like what would his success look like? Or I want to be a business owner and I want to have this kind of business. Like just I think he's like the true, and he says it a lot, like he's not really a special like physical specimen when it comes down to it. He just like has been working out for years and been training for years, and really the mindset I think is everything when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I think it is too. I mean, we live in Louisville, right? So we've always heard growing up about Muhammad Ali and how he was so boisterous but so confident. And I'm like, you hear a lot of the stuff that even he would say, before his fights or what he was going to do. Oh, I'm going to do this in this round. And he was just programming himself to just be in that positive mindset and mind frame that just like, I'm going to at least have control over my mindset. Your mind is typically, I take cold showers, right? So there are times I'll go in and it's like, I don't really want to go take a cold shower. I just want to just turn it up blazing hot and just soak in it, but it's like you have that more vocal voice that's just like, just going to get in for a couple seconds and just ride it out, just see what happens. And just it takes over. And I feel like Ali did that before he got into the ring. Jocko does that before he does anything that he probably doesn't want to do. It's just like you got to be able to overcome that, overcome those fears, overcome the pessimistic kind of mindset and just be optimistic. A little bit delusional, but like optimistic.
Yeah.
So, delusional optimism.
Yeah. You definitely have to have a little bit of crazy in you to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned it, like manifestation, I think is what a lot of what that was before probably it was called that. You know, it's like you hear about it a lot nowadays, like more of the mental side of sports and training and sports psychology. And the same is true with the physical side too, if you really think about like what the guys in bodybuilding were doing before there was science behind it. Mm-hmm. You know, if you really go back and like look at what people knew before it was like science backed.
Yeah.
And then you see like, oh, these things are proven to work. It's almost crazy like how our human instincts, were they like, do you think they were like stronger back in the day before all this like information? And now it's like if I have a thought, I'll be like, is that true? And then I'll Google it. Or if I like want to know if something like is spelled right, I will go and like on a text and like spell check myself before I send something. Like our human instinct, or maybe it's confidence, maybe it's both, I feel like is so much less. Now it's like, what does this organization have to say about it? What does this person have to say about it? Back in the day, it was like, oh, it works, I'll just do it.
Yeah. You have to just go off of that. Oh, well, this person did it, and then we heard about this person over here doing it. This person in this town did it, you know, back in the day. But now we're all just very skeptical, you know, to take something at face value for what it is or what advice they're saying is. What does this person say about it? What is this person? I guess you kind of want to see an opinion or see advice that like is in tune with what you originally thought, so to speak. So just to confirm, what is it, confirmation bias? You just want to confirm your original opinion on something, so you'll tune everything else out and just like, this is what it is. Like you got to kind of have an open mind about these things. You got to be able to see the positives and negatives of things, as unfortunate as it is. But
yeah, I think we've with social media, we're kind of getting trapped in the, like you said, the confirmation bias, and as well as like trusting yourself and trusting your gut too. It's like, at what point do we stop looking to other people for, and I think you have to like constantly be looking for more knowledge and more wisdom, but at what point do we stop like trusting our own feelings and trusting our gut? Like, you know, I think it's a slippery slope. You know, you want to have faith in yourself, but you don't want to be too cocky in yourself, right? And you want to have strong beliefs, but you don't want to have like too strong where you can't ever change your mind. You know,
yeah.
Is it truly what we believe, or is it just kind of like, you know, is it being pushed at us?
Yeah. Is it just what certain things would like us to think, or is it, you know, really our gut judgment? Is it really something that we think is right or wrong? You know, that's interesting. I wonder if that's a little bit of just the human condition, just how we've been wired from the beginning, and just how over time different things have affected how we look at certain things or how we value certain things. It just comes back to always being a little bit skeptical. It's just like kind of lowering that a little bit and just being like, well, if my gut feels this way, I might need to go with my gut on this.
Yeah. What do you feel like is the future with you, like in fitness? Is there any business wants, or is it just kind of something that you want to continue to do and just be healthy?
Always wanting to be healthy. Always want to just take care of myself. That's always going to be number one. But also just taking it more along the business route and just thinking, okay, well, I came from being over 200-something pounds in my frame and everything like that to being where I'm at now. It's like I've learned things along the way. I've learned things about myself that this works, this doesn't. Eat these foods, stay away from these foods, you know, get your good sleep and stuff. I feel like there's a need for that out there among a lot of different people that just want to, I don't know where to start. I want to get into the gym, but I don't know where to start. What do I do? Just being there for them, helping them out. That's just something that I've always wanted to do, but always inspire, just to inspire others and just be like, whether it's fitness, anything in life that you're passionate about and that you really want, that you're willing to die behind, so to speak, be willing to give out that message to the people and just inspiring, motivating them, using quotes, using different influences and inspirations from my own life. Hopefully people look at some of those people that I've used and say like, oh, well, like, what's this person about? You know, if it's an athlete, like a Michael Jordan, like, okay, well, I know a little bit about him, but what's more about him that I could learn? What's something that I could take from him that maybe he's talked about in an interview or somewhere and apply it and see how my life improves. So I always feel like people can just get better overall. And my story of where I came from to where I'm at now can be a testament to that. Then I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
So.
And I think one thing that I constantly struggle with when it comes to like trying to put out content in regards to helping people, motivating people, is like, do I inspire people? Like, are people watching this? Are they looking to be inspired, or are they already inspired? Are they looking to be motivated? And I can't remember, it was a couple days ago, I was just like about to work out and I was on social media and I was kind of feeling like, you know, I'm going to work out, but I'm not really feeling it, you know? Mm-hmm. But I saw this reel and I was like, dang, it wasn't anything super special either, but it like got me in the mindset. So, you know, I think there's a power to inspiring people and educating people who don't really have any idea or really any inspiration to get started even. But I think there's also a power in like just getting somebody to push harder, you know? Like, it doesn't matter if you're just getting started or if you have 10 years of experience or 20 years of experience in the gym. You're going to be, some days, maybe a lot of days even, you're going to be kind of off your motivational game a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it just clicked with me, like, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. Like, everybody needs a little bit of a push.
Yeah. At some point or another, not everybody is going to be on it 100%. There are days that I don't want to go work out, but I just find something, like we talked about earlier, just internally within me that just will get me to get up and go at it and just take it like we're just going to be here for a few minutes. A few minutes turns into an hour and a half. It just happens.
Yeah.
There is something about that. And I think it's something realizing, like, even if you just inspire one person, like, you're doing something great that's just going to help the world overall, because that person can inspire another person, keep it going, and at some point or another, like, it's just going to affect a whole group of people. So I feel as if nowadays a lot of people take that as their worth, what they're worth to other people. It's like, you know, we talked about it earlier. You don't know when that person started. They could have been in this thing for years, you know. Christian Guzman, somebody that's been in the industry for years, and he's made a name for himself, and look at where he is now. He's running a multi-million-dollar business that has a crazy, phenomenal, you know, gym facility, just like a park, just for people to be able to meet other people and work out. And, like, you never know that influence. There was somebody at the gym the other day, they saw me working out, and I didn't know them, didn't recognize them. Might have seen them in the gym a couple times, but they just came up and said, hey, man, like, you know, seeing you working out and, like, you just always get after, and that inspires me. And I was just like, whoa, like, you never know who's watching. You never know who's going to really take that and say, you know what, this improved my life. This helped me out. Like, thank you for this. And they can just come in different ways. I mean, you never know who's watching. And, you know, so you always got to kind of be on your top game, so to speak, and just be about it and just not be a hypocrite. And just, you know, if you say you're going to do something, you do it and you follow through with it.
You know, authenticity is such an important factor.
Yeah, because they're going to check and they're going to see, and, like, you know, it's the thing with social media, everybody portrays an image, but it's really up to, you know, people to really find out, is that person really about it or not. You know, everything looks great for a reel, but if you're not actually giving off that kind of energy or, like, promoting what you do online in person, it's incongruency.
Yeah.
You know, you're not being authentic to yourself, but also other people, and it's just a no-go.
Yeah, for sure. Before we head out, I want to ask you a few rapid fire questions. We did this at Alphaland, and I really enjoyed it.
Let's get it.
All
Let's
right.
get it. Let's see what you got.
So, in the spirit of music, what's your favorite workout song, whether it be to get ready for a workout or you got to hit that hard set?
I would say, honestly, anything by Kanye, old Kanye. I rock with a lot. So things like Through the Wire, Power, Stronger. There's even times that I'll toss it on to like Travis Scott, Lil Uzi, even as far back as like Tupac and Biggie. So it really just depends on the day. But if it's a PR, if I really want to get intense and get hyped about something, tossing off some Kanye. So
You ever go with any like slow jams, soft jams while you work out?
depends. Maybe if I'm doing cardio, maybe if I'm just on the bike for 30 minutes, I might toss on a little R&B or something, something to spice up the playlist. But it's the main kind of characters, and then I have some other tracks that I'll play every now and then. Might evoke a certain emotion. I think that's something cool with music, is that there are certain songs that can just evoke an emotional response out of you and just either make you hyped up, get you focused, make you feel good, whatever it may be. So it's always been interesting to me, the power of music.
Yeah.
So
Are you a person who wears like two headphones or, keep both on? Or are you the person who likes to kind of keep an ear out for what's going on around you?
usually just put both in and just go into my own world. Might be a little aloof to certain people, but I just use that and I'll just blast the music. Every now and then I might just keep it low. But recently there's been times where I've wanted to just have them out and just not have any headphones and just really kind of be in tune with my mind and what lift I'm doing. I feel like sometimes you can get a little bit carried away with the music, but if you got a good handle on it, it'll push you and hype you up. But
Favorite body part to work out?
favorite body part? Not going to say legs, but I will say recently it's been a lot of shoulders. Been loving hitting shoulders recently and just spamming lateral raises and front raises. Also like hitting back too. I don't think there's anybody I've heard that doesn't like hitting back.
Least favorite body part?
Legs.
Do you have like a quads or least favorite, hams or least favorite?
Well, I can say I definitely don't like hitting glute ham raises or Nordic raises, that's for sure. For some reason they're always kind of painful, or at least just what I'm thinking. I've ironically like hitting quads, so like split squats, box squats, front squats. It's always the posterior stuff, hamstrings, glutes, a little bit. That kind of stuff I've never liked, but
Really?
got to do it.
Favorite post-workout meal?
I've been going a lot with a vegan protein shake and a fish like tilapia, shrimp, or salmon with rice and a kale salad. It's just been chef's kiss, just on point. Maybe a little bit of fruit here and there.
Okay.
That's usually been my go-to. Other than that, ground beef, ground turkey, rice, and avocado. I would say those are my go-tos.
What's your favorite cheat meal?
Anything that's honestly American that's really not good for you. So like a pizza, like Blaze Pizza, or I'm not gonna ever say no to a Five Guys burger.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that sponsorship. Y'all heard it here. Then other than that, it might be like a dessert, like cookies. It just depends. I go in phases. Like spring could be this, summer could be this, winter I could be vibing with this. It just depends. But love it, but gotta keep it to once a week.
Most embarrassing gym moment?
Most embarrassing gym moment? I had a physio ball, one of the big physio balls that you might see people do stuff on, and I was doing a variation of a dumbbell bench press, but it was with more of an emphasis on internal rotation like this, and that helps with punching and a little bit of the triceps. And I had my upper back on the ball, and as soon as I put the weights up and tried to do a couple, just rolled off, and just the ball just like rolled over. It wasn't too bad. There was only a couple people around, but I tried to brush it off, and some guy was like, I saw that, right? I was like, well, you weren't supposed to. So that would probably be my most embarrassing gym moment.
It sounds like it might hurt.
I thought it was going to, but like in that mid moment, like fall, it was just like a, slight, you just fall over and you just get back up. Weights didn't really go anywhere, but it was just more the stabilization and just, I guess, either the sweat on the ball, just making it slippery, or just it rolling off. I was just like, I can't let this happen again, especially in a group full of people, in a room full of people.
Have you ever felt like you were somebody's gym crush?
My ego in me says yes, like without a doubt. Yeah, I would say so. I would say there's been some instances where maybe I have been or I haven't, and I'm just like, maybe, but I'm like, you just never know. Like if it comes, the time comes, but I'm usually just in my own zone, just to myself. So try not to get too distracted, but I mean, it's a gym. So
it's the male ego.
Yep.
Sometimes it's destructive. Sometimes it's helpful.
Yeah.
Most times it's destructive. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Most times it's destructive, but it can be a little constructive in certain situations. Just knowing when to use it, when to use it for your benefit.
For sure. All right, man. That's it. Appreciate you coming in. It was really good getting to have a conversation with you. Really, we didn't get to talk too much, a little bit down there in Houston, but good to kind of finally get to learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah, 100%. I thank you for having me on, as well as Colin. Very humbled to be here. I mean, this is professional. Nice little setup. Got this and everything too. This is awesome, man. This was much needed. So appreciate y'all having me on.
For sure, man. It was good to get to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Plug the socials.
Plug the socials. Instagram is Brennan_Poole. That's BRENNAN_POOLE. TikTok is BPoole Fitness, BPOOLE Fitness. YouTube coming soon. Some content. Stay tuned. Just a matter of with YouTube, you got to figure out what you can really what message you want to put out there as well. That's long form content, so you got to be a little bit more engaging. We got something in the works coming soon, guys. So make sure to stay in tune for that. But that'll be updated on the socials in due time. So
sounds good, man. Well, we'll have to maybe do a little collab or something. That'd be fun.
Let's do it.
We didn't get to really work out that down there in Alpha Land, but it'd be fun to get something done.
Yeah, we got to get something done, man.
We shall.
We will.
All right. Well, that's it from the weight room. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more.